Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'm participating in Poetspice's Comfy and Cozy Collab 2021, and if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Okay, so in the description box below, I will link all of the details about this collaboration. Now, this is actually the first of the kind for me. I've done collabs before in Planner World, and then Buddy Colors are kind of collabs, but this is something where it's sort of like a channel hop. So for every Tuesday, for the month of October, at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time, there will be a video going up by all of the channels listed below to include my own. Now, because I did reach out to her and just ask about the information, and so I will be doing journal related things regarding comfy cozy. I believe the others will be doing something craft related, maybe something card related. I don't know, I'll definitely check out their videos, but I've been wanting to work in my various creative journals, and so that's what I'm going to be doing. Every week for the month of October, I will be showing you a different creative journal that I have started and that I was interested in getting back to. For this first week, I will be doing something in my Primrosia A5 bullet journal that I picked up from Amazon. I will link it below. This is my TV, movie, and book journal. And it is handled a little differently. I did get it around the same time that Bridgerton was released on Netflix. Totally binged it, totally loved it. And this actually, as we get into it, I'll show you, is kind of an homage to the Whistledown Papers. And actually, let me just show you this right here. Now, I'm hoping there's not too much of a glare, but I did cover this with an A5 Midori cover. Now, it is quite a thick book. It is fabric. I did not want it to get it dirty or smudgy, and so that's why I covered it. But I did have to do some wrangling at the back of it in order for it to take into account this right here. I've never used the pen loop, so that was not a big deal. And I never use the pocket because I store things here. But I really love the quality of this. And Primrosia, they also sell those watercolor pens. And so this is definitely paper that is geared towards water paper. It is 160 GSM. This label stickle here I did get from my friend Christy over at Christy Murray Designs. I'll link her channel below. And this is what I was talking about, where I'm going to do sort of a society review, but I did just change it up a little bit and called it Lady Hannah Downs because my name's Johanna. Hannah Down doesn't sound right. Hannah Down does. The bee is actually symbolic in the actual show, and so that's why my little emblem there is a bee. I did play around with some, I don't even know what this was. If this was my sangria pens. I didn't actually write it down. But yeah, I did this in the beginning of the year, and this is how this book is going to go. There's going to be some artwork on this side, and there's going to be sort of the society review on this side. And it's just a synopsis of whatever is going on here. And I've only done 2 entries by way of a television or book or movie show. And so this was a movie that I had watched. It was The Witches by Roald Dahl. It was the newer version. I've never actually seen the Angelica Houston version that was done in the 90s, I think. And so the artwork I decided to draw, because I do like to draw and doodle, is from the book. And I just found the inspiration on Pinterest, and then I just took some quotes from the actual book, again found online. And then this is my synopsis of this, and then I do give it a rating. It's supposed to be a diamond rating, but then it changes to hearts in the next one. This is my homage to Bridgerton. I had actually cut out an image from the show and then traced it on here and then blacked it out so that you could focus on the color behind it, and you still get the silhouette action of that. Her face is kind of janky because I tried to add in some of the elements, but the placement was not right. again, added a quote here. I like that, and then sort of a synopsis. So what we're going to be doing today is this. Now, just to get a jump on it not being so long, I actually started some of this, and what we're going to be working on is an entry for this book right here. This is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. And I picked this up from Walmart, probably like March, April of this year. And initially I had picked it up because I really liked the line art. I had already gotten into coloring, and I thought, oh, wouldn't this be interesting to color? But I've actually decided to forego that because there are pages with color as you get into the story, and I like how some pages are very stark, but some pages are colored in, and I also like that I'm assuming that this is the artist and writer's writing, and I love seeing that, so I'm just going to keep this book as is. But it really is a story about finding yourself, acceptance, love, and friendship. And so if you haven't already, I would highly recommend this. But what we're going to try to do is recreate this cover art here. Now, I don't do pencil work, and so we're gonna get stuck in. So I'm going to, logistically, how am I going to do this? I'm going to put that there. Maybe we can balance because I just need the cover art. And we're going to use a ruler to make the blue spine. I will be using a Pigma Micron pen because once it's fully dry, it should be waterproof. And then everything else we're going to freehand. And I'll talk about the supplies in just a little bit. So if I want to keep an area for the title, and I want to keep an area for to put the author's name. So that's the space we're looking at. And the shadow is going to be bad because my lighting's not great. And so I'm just making some registration marks. I don't need to come all the way out here, but because we're not doing any pencil work, it's going to be sort of a one and done. So let's just do it. I think the neck looks kind of broken. Let's see, there's some things over here. And it's here that there's a circle. And this is longer. Well, that actually helps. And there's an eye. There's like that. This is darker because there's a muscle right there. And then it's less of a heel. Okay, I mean, okay. Let's do a little bit of that and a little bit of that. Okay. So his nose and this little boy, so that's like that, and he's got some kind of thing going on there, and just coming down he's holding the mole. And then down like that. And we can color in the pants. Not going to worry about his shoe. Give definition of the hair. Okay, well that looks kind of horrible. We've got a little circle going on here. And a little mole butt right there. And we got a fox. And there. All right. Oh, we were supposed to leave that for the name. Well, we're not doing that. So it's the boy, the mole, the fox, and I'm purposely making it a little bit messy because that's messier than how I would write. Not gonna lie, I mean, he looks like a weird squirrel, but otherwise, I think that's a good composition. Okay, so I need to put something over here because that's where the signature goes, and so let's do that. We've got the artwork. I'm gonna use the book now, right now, to just prop it open because it's still fairly new, so there's gonna be quite a gap, so it helps if you wanna have a level surface to have a book propped underneath. We will need to move that. If you guys saw when I was working out of how to use distress inks in a journal, I do have this Holbein artist colored pencil case. I just use this as my palette. Looks like there's some ink on there, but I'm not going to clean it off. And just going to add some color. And I'm using both Crayolas and distress inks because they, in theory, should both work. Oh, and I always depend on the barrels because I don't swatch anything, so that's, at least here, way greener than I thought. I've got a paper towel and some water brushes. No, that's too small. And so I'm gonna get some ink wet. We're just gonna smudge that together and just kind of put that down on the page. It's gonna be darker because I didn't do the wet on wet technique, and that's actually fine. And then we're just gonna smudge in like that. It should dry just a slightly paler, and then I can do my signature, but that's all we need for that right now. I'm going to keep this side blue because I want to do the spine, and adds a little bit of black just because I want to make this as dark a blue as possible, and add some water and kind of smush this together. And it doesn't need to be opaque. I mean, considering it's going to be in the vein of like a watercolor, it's never going to be. But not gonna lie, I think that's a good match. I should have put some water down first, but that's fine. Not going to be too fussy about it. I mean, obviously the artwork lends a little bit to be desired, but I wanted to put something in here, and I think it does the job. Let's just see. Because I've never actually, oh good. I was worried it would bleed to the other side. I've never actually used this method in here, so it's a bit of a test page. I mean, if it bled, then it would bleed. I'm not going to be too fussed about it. And let's clean this a little. I don't have a clean pot of water, but because it's a brush pen, I can just push some water out of it and then just clean it on the paper towel here. And then if we look here, there's a little bit of blue that we can do here on this sky. And even though the book is definitely more cream than this, we are not going to do a background. We're just trying to do an homage there. And we can do this for the fox. And yeah, the micron is not moving at all. And let's get darker. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. And we can add some depth down here. And because it's going on the layer that was already there, it actually kind of bleeds up. And I love that about doing watercolor type things. This one definitely pulls a little bit more red, but I think that's fine. And then we need a little bit of gray. So I'm gonna put a little bit more of the black down there. Clean off the brown, add some water. Actually going to add water there, and we're going to add some water there, and then really wash this out. Now, if it sounds like I'm a watercolor expert, I am not. I've seen enough, so I'm pretty sure this is the technique. And then put that there. It's actually a little lighter than I would like, so let's just bring, because it'll definitely be more shaded than what was there. And as you can see, the pigment micron did not move at all, which is lovely. I will need to go in and color that a little bit more. And just because we can, let's just add some color. It'll be subtle, but it'll be there. Oh, I guess we should. Okay, so I'm gonna close this up. I'll clean this up off camera, but I want to just get this out of the way. This is dry enough. And I would highly recommend this, and so I'm going to give this 5 stars, or 5 hearts. And that also does not bleed through. This is a pigment micron up here that I did the insignia on, and while there's ghosting, there certainly is no bleed through. Looking back at this page, there's some slight warping, but nothing too atrocious, and it does actually move quite nicely. I don't see a lot of pilling. There is some, because I did it on dry paper, it did move differently than if I had done it on wet. I think that looks really good. Oh, don't know where that's from, but let's just... Okay, so I just made it look like I always meant to do that. and then a signature, and we are done. Now, I don't read as much as I used to. In fact, if it weren't for Andy, my girl Andy, I'll link her channel below as well, I wouldn't actually read that much at all. But this book really did speak to me, and I would highly recommend it. I'm glad I've included in here. I definitely want to come back and do more. This one was fairly easy to do. This one was fairly easy to do. This one did take a little bit of time just for the scale of it, as well as this was done predominantly in pencil work. But I like the aspect of sort of memorializing what it is that I like to do, being creative, and just taking it in a slightly different direction that you may not generally see. Plus, I mean, is it a carbon copy of it? No. If I wanted a carbon copy, I could just print something off the internet. But it is fun, and I'm definitely going to remember it. And I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it as well. All right, so for next week, we'll be working out of a different journal, different theme. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right, guys, well, that's it for this video. Let me know if you have read this book. I find it truly, truly inspiring. I don't generally go for the whole inspiring thing, but for this one, I thought it was a really good story. All right, thank you, Poetspice, for hosting this collab. I'll definitely go ahead and check out all of the other videos. And as always, aloha.